Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed, like you're standing at the bottom of a mountain with no idea how to even start climbing? It's a feeling we all know. We look at our problems, whether in our career, our relationships, or our personal growth, and they seem so complex, so tangled, that finding a solution feels impossible. But what if I told you that for every complex problem, there's a simple solution hiding in plain sight? Let me tell you a story about a wise old farmer. His village was suffering from a severe drought. The river had dried up, the crops were failing, and people were losing hope. The village elders held meeting after meeting, discussing elaborate plans to dig new wells, build complex irrigation systems, and even pray for rain. They argued, they debated, and they got nowhere. The problem seemed too big. The old farmer, however, didn't attend these meetings. Instead, every morning, he'd walk to the dried up riverbed with a small, simple shovel. He just started digging, not a massive trench, just a little deeper in one spot, day after day. His neighbors thought he was crazy. "What's the point?" they asked. "You can't dig a new river by yourself." The farmer would just smile and keep digging. He wasn't trying to solve the entire drought. He was just focused on one simple action, making one spot a little deeper. He focused on the one thing he could control. He wasn't worried about the outcome, he was committed to the process. His daily routine became a quiet act of faith. Weeks passed. The debates in the village hall continued, growing more and more desperate. The farmer kept digging. His small hole became a deep pit. Then one morning, something amazing happened. A tiny trickle of water started to seep up from the bottom of the pit he had dug. He had reached the underground water table. The trickle became a small pool. Excited, he called his neighbors. Seeing the water, they finally understood. They stopped their complicated debates, grabbed their own shovels, and joined him. Together, they widened the hole, and soon, the small pool grew into a small pond, providing enough water for the village to survive. They didn't build a fancy irrigation system or magically make it rain. The solution wasn't some grand, complex scheme. It was a simple, consistent action that started with one person. This story perfectly illustrates a powerful truth. We often overestimate the complexity of our problems and underestimate the power of simple, consistent action. When we're faced with a huge challenge, our minds tend to race, creating a dozen different scenarios, 100 different obstacles. We get stuck in analysis paralysis, thinking we need a perfect, multi-step plan before we can even begin. Think about a major goal you might have. Maybe you want to write a book. The thought of writing 300 pages is daunting, right? It feels like an impossible mountain to climb. But what's the simple solution? Write one page a day, just one. Don't worry about the whole book, just focus on that single page. In a year, you'll have more than enough for a full manuscript. The complex problem of writing a book is solved by the simple action of writing one page, or maybe you want to get in shape. The idea of a complete lifestyle overhaul, perfect diet, intense gym sessions, tracking every calorie can be so overwhelming that you don't even start. What's the simple solution? Go for a 15-minute walk every day. That's it, just a walk. It's a simple action you can stick with. Once that becomes a habit, maybe you'll start walking for 20 minutes, or you'll add a few healthy swaps to your meals. The huge problem of getting fit is broken down into the simple, manageable step of taking a walk. This principle applies to everything. Feeling disconnected from your partner? Don't try to plan the perfect date night or have one massive, soul-bearing conversation. The simple solution: spend 10 minutes every evening talking, with no phones, no distractions. Just 10 minutes of genuine connection. The complexity of a relationship is nurtured by simple, daily acts of attention. Struggling with a messy, cluttered home, the idea of cleaning the entire house is exhausting. The simple solution: tidy one small corner. Just one drawer, one shelf, or one countertop. The next day, do another. It's the farmer's shovel approach. You're not trying to dig a whole river at once. You're just focused on your small patch of dirt. The reason we miss these simple solutions is often because our ego gets in the way. We want a grand, impressive solution to match our grand, impressive problem. A simple solution feels, well, too simple, it feels anticlimactic. We think that big problems require big, dramatic actions, but life rarely works that way. It's the small, consistent efforts that compound over time and create massive change. It's the slight edge. So, how can we start applying this mindset in our own lives? First, identify the overwhelming problem. See it for what it is, a big, scary mountain. Acknowledge the feeling of being overwhelmed, but don't let it paralyze you. Second, ask yourself, what is the simplest possible action I can take right now that moves me even 1 inch forward? Forget the whole mountain. What's the very next step? Not the 10 steps after that, just the next one. It should be an action so small, so simple, that it feels almost ridiculous, not asterisk, to do it. Want to learn a new language? Don't think about becoming fluent. The simple action is to learn one new word today. Just one. Overwhelmed by debt? Don't focus on becoming debt-free overnight. The simple action is to find one small, unnecessary expense you can cut today. Feeling lost in your career? Don't try to map out the next 20 years. The simple action is to have one conversation with someone whose job you find interesting. The beauty of this approach is that it builds momentum. That one simple action creates a tiny win. That tiny win gives you a little boost of confidence and motivation. It makes taking the next simple action a little easier. Before you know it, these tiny steps have carried you halfway up the mountain, and the view is starting to look pretty good. The farmer in the story didn't have a map to the water table. He just had faith in the process. He trusted that if he kept digging in the right direction, he would eventually find what he was looking for. We need to have that same faith in our own simple, consistent actions. So the next time you feel stuck, remember the old farmer and his shovel. Put down the complex blueprints and the endless debates. Pick up your simple tool, whatever that may be, and just start digging. Focus on the one small patch of ground in front of you. Take that one simple step. You'll be amazed at how quickly the impossible starts to feel possible, and how the most tangled problems begin to unravel with the simplest of solutions. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up. And I'd love to hear in the comments about a complex problem you're going to solve with a simple action. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next conversation. Until next time, keep it simple and keep moving forward.